Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're working on this Coleman Powermate 2500 generator. It's a wee little guy. It's going to be a companion to my 6500 watt generator, which rattles neighbors' windows. So I don't run it very often, but if I need to run something small, I'll run this little guy. But it's possibly a resale flipper, I don't know. I seem to be accumulating these things and I don't sell them. I keep hanging on to things, so sheds are getting full. But anyways, it hasn't run in years. It is a Briggs Quantum 5.5 horse, built in 2005. So at the time of recording, it's 16 years old. Let's see what we got. So I did a brief inspection when I purchased the thing. It smells like very old gas in there, but it's bone dry. There's nothing in the tank. It's got oil in it. It's black, so it has run. I don't know when. Let's check that air filter. Make sure there's no critters in it. Literally pulled this out of a barn. It's like brand new. Doesn't even need a air compressor blowgun to clean that out. It's like brand new. Spin it around. Let's pull that plug out of there. Have a look-see. So it's non-primer. It does have a choke, lever, and a run position. It's not going to have a throttle because generators don't have an idle speed like this style. They don't idle. They run wide open or they're off. Unless you have a load sensing circuit, which will idle down and then bump it up as needed. It's not new, but it's not terrible. Gapped. No sense changing it yet anyways. Okay. It's got some oil in it. Filter's good. Plug's decent. I think I'll throw some gas in it, see if it runs the way it is. Okay, so I got a little splash of 91 octane non-ethanol fuel in there with seafoam. Choke on, no primer. Ignition switch on. Well, let's see what happens. Carb bowl, a wrap or two. See if we can get that float unstuck. It might be just stuck in there. Sometimes it's all it takes. If you can get to them. Possibly. Yeah, choke is on. Oh, no dice on this one. Let's pop that off real quick. Let's see what's going on in there. Carb is bone dry inside. Float's probably stuck. I did shine my flashlight up underneath there to see if there's any critters in there. Any mouse nest, because you don't want to run stuff with mouse nest in there, it'll overheat it. Let's get that air filter plate off. You guys seeing? Somewhat. You just zoomed in a little. Ooh, don't work. There you go. So I looked down the carb throat and I didn't see any fuel in there. carb bowl. Here's our choke plate. The carb float could just be stuck, because there is fuel in it. I'm just going to loosen the nut on the bottom. Should be a 1/2 inch on this one. Let's see what's going on in there. Oh, we got some yellow horrendous stuff coming out. I'm not even going to describe what that looks like, but it's bad and it's syrupy and it reeks. God, that's horrible. Let's get my hose pincher off for pliers, and we'll just pop that line off the carburetor. Take that line off and just let it drain the yellow stuff out of it. Oh, that's horrible. Now there is some fresh fuel in there. I'm going to let the fresh fuel flush out this yellow garbage. Yeah, it's a mess. Well, we know it flows from there anyway. Get that bowl the rest of the way off of there. I'm pretty sure it's clogged up inside, because this should be easy to turn and it's not. Usually, typically what happens with a generator is somebody will buy a generator, they put some gas in it, put a light bulb on it, fire it up, see if it works, make sure it works just in case when they need it, and then it sits for 17.5 years unused. Our jet is clogged up. Come on, focus. See the band at the bottom there? Jet's clogged. And pretty sure it's supposed to look like that in there. I'm going to fire up the ultrasonic cleaner and get started with that mess. Stand by. Okay, so I got the ultrasonic cleaner warming up. We get the carburetor off. There's a bolt here and a bolt there. I've already removed those. We'll slide it off its little perch. Need to unhook our governor spring, which is pretty well tight in a knot around everything. Needle nose pliers. I can't get you guys all in there, so you gotta trust me. It's a spring. Just gotta unhook it. Unhook it from the throttle arm. I can hang there. And there's a Z bend. There you go. Carburetor is off. Oh, it's a mess. Ew. Float doesn't even move. And it's down, so it should have been flowing fuel out. It is not doing that. Well, we get that out. The needle is probably stuck. I gently get underneath there and pry it out. Not with that screwdriver, I'm not. Try and do it on camera as much as I can. The needle is stuck in the body of the carburetor. There we go, I think. Somewhat, nope. Boink, out it came. It's gummy, oh, that's bad. And I am sure I'm not getting anything else out of there yet. It's funny because it looks spotless. The carburetor looks real clean going through where the air and everything goes, but it's just mangled in the bottom end. So we're going to drop everything in the ultrasonic cleaner, let that marinate for a while. It's still heating up. It's going to be a while before it gets to the operating temperature. It's just coated in sludge. We'll let that cook for a while. We'll get it back out, put it together, and see what happens. All right, so the carburetor's out of the bath, back together. Turned out really nice, actually. I think it'll be fine. So let's get our Z-bend hooked back in our throttle rod. Nice. Let's get our governor spring hooked back in where it's supposed to go. So this governor spring is what adjusts your wide open throttle, or your full throttle basically. So if you have to adjust your speed of the engine to adjust either the frequency of the electricity or the voltage, if you have to increase or decrease the engine speed, the tab that this governor spring is on is what you bend. Just grab it with a pair of pliers and bend it, and it will adjust the way the governor runs, or the governor runs, so it will work properly. What? Why are you stuck? It's not behaving. Oh yeah. Here we go. Just a little fidgety. There we go. So that should be fine. Nice. My carb mounts up on an O-ring. That should be fine. One bolt here. One bolt here. Run them down evenly. I did take the red top cover off this so I can get to the top of the carburetor and see what's going on. I'm going to leave it off for initial running and testing. That way I can get to that tab over here to adjust the governor if I have to. So I did let this run into a cup for a little while and got it a little cleaner. So it's mostly just fresh gas that's kind of stained a little yellow, but it is fresh now. So governor travels free. Get our choke rod hooked in there. Oh, come on. There we go. Have to tweak that down a little bit. I bent it. There we go. Full choke, open choke. Full choke, open choke. Let's open up the fuel. See if the carb overflows. That'll tell us this float is stuck to the bottom. Check our bowl nut / main jet gasket. It's dry. Bowl gasket appears to be dry. Okay. Let's get our air cleaner plate back on. We'll put our air cleaner in there because engines do operate differently sometimes when you have the air filter out of them. For tuning purposes, especially if you have an adjustable idle air mixture, you're going to want to have your air cleaner and everything installed. Sometimes it makes a big difference, sometimes it makes a small difference, sometimes it makes no difference, but I just make sure everything's together, if at all possible. Snug. Snug. So that carb actually came out pretty nice. 25 minutes in the ultrasonic cleaner. Still dry. Okay, get some of the stuff off the bench so it doesn't rattle off. We'll get our air cleaner put back on there in a second. It should fire. It should. That's choke, that's run. Choke. Okay, get you backed out. Turn it around a little so I can get up at the pull cord. Got gas on the bench still. That's all we need, that to rattle off the bench and land on the floor. Someday I might actually clean my bench so I can put stuff on it. All right, choke is on, plug's on, it's got gas in it, some, oil's good. No drip, let's see. Maybe it needs more gas. Let's put a splash more in. I did take quite a bit out. It's possible. Who knows? Is the switch on? Yeah, the switch is in the run position. Nope. Makes power, 118 volts, 59 cycles, 59 hertz. Let's put a load on it. 1200 watts. Oh, it's making it work. I'm reading 58 cycles. About 1,000 watts. There we go, 60 hertz. Just a little tweak. 115 volts, 1100 watts, that's a 1200 watt rated gun. Was loud. I think this was rattling, making it loud too. Well, that's not bad. Engine's warm now. We're going to change that oil. I don't need to do that on camera. That's just boring. But it does run pretty good. Oil's black. Well, so let me pop you out of there. Give me a second. Get you out. Hold on. Not used to taking you guys on field trips. All right, so, whoa, easy. That's that choke lever. There's our governor spring right here. And that governor spring is attached to this tab that's under the choke lever, this aluminum tab here. So it was a little low on frequency, which means the engine was running a little slower than it should. Now, I didn't put I don't have a tach on this engine. I don't know what it was running at, but I know it wasn't enough to run the generator properly. So it needed to be a little bit higher. So all I did was I just bent that tab out a little bit to make the engine run a little faster, put a little more tension on that governor spring. And it was just a tweak, just a tiny little tweak. And it brought that frequency up to 60.1, which is perfect. Yeah, not a bad unit. Relatively quiet. It's not silent by any stretch of the imagination. These meters, I got this one from Amazon. It's a kilowatt. It's a great little meter for testing generators like this. Gives you your voltage, wattage, frequency. Anyways, well, that's a completed project other than changing the oil and giving it a wipe down because it's disgusting. Yeah, I don't know if this one's going to actually get sold or if I'm going to keep it. Anyways, thanks for joining me, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Give that little subscribe bell a dingle. It'll let you know when I upload new videos. And until the next one, take care. I'd like to thank my special guest, my assistant in the shop. I mean, he didn't pull any wrenches, but he did bring me these. Thanks, Warren.